That's so funny. Savage, what was it like for you growing up in like middle school in Atlanta? Because I'm assuming that you had already this fighter inside of you, and I already told me that you were punching somebody when you were 5 years old. So what were you doing in middle school?
Well, in middle school, I was boxing, and I had been the junior Olympic champion. Because I became.
How did you even get that dream? You already wanted to be a boxer when you were little?
No. When I was 8 years old, I was coming out the football field.
Right.
And this man told me I could be like Muhammad Ali.
So here was my issue. When I was younger, I wanted to live the dream life, but whose dream life did I want to live? My name is Valeria Orsini, at Valeria_Orsini on Instagram, and I'll be sharing my own experiences and speaking with others that live a life of excellence about what it actually takes to build your own dream life. My goal is to help you find the confidence to create your own dream life. Dreams are not cookie cutter, neither are you. Welcome to the Dream Life Podcast. Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the Dream Life Podcast. On today's episode, I'm so excited because I have a living legend here, boxing's Hall of Fame, cruiserweight and heavyweight champion of the world, Evander Holyfield. Let's go into it right now. All right, guys, so I'm here with the legend himself, Evander Holyfield, and we're going to be talking a little bit from the beginning, because what I think is most inspiring about you is just how you've lived your life, even to this point. So this is a man, he's an Alabama boy, but let's talk about like where you were born and your childhood.
I was born at Mo, Alabama, but I was raised in Atlanta.
Oh, yeah?
I just moved there when I was 4 years old. And so, and coming up is, with me, I just remember that the first thing I thought, if you're the same age, then you're supposed to know the same thing.
Right.
And and I was upset with the kids because they could read and I couldn't read.
Right.
And and so I got in trouble for punching the kid because the kid said I couldn't read.
Made fun of you.
Yeah. And so, of course, my mother came up there and whooped me in front of the whole class.
How old were you?
5.
5. I was like, your mom, I know that she was somebody in your life, that she taught you many lessons, what is one of the things that I think, like, growing up, that you remember about your mom? Because I know you were telling me a story off camera about, I was like, go ahead, about...
Well, I guess the most important thing is my mother let me know that she was my mom. And, even though I was the baby, but a lot of my friends, the baby, they were the baby of their family as well, and they brothers and sisters. My mama said, I raised you, I don't raise them.
Right.
And so, so my mother had authority, everything ran the way that my mama wanted it to go.
No, and I love that, because really you were telling me that story because you're the youngest of 9.
Yes.
And then your brothers and sisters were pretty tough on you growing up, and then you saw some other families in Atlanta growing up that the babies of the family, that your friends, that they actually were kind of taken care of or treated nicely or babied, and then you were kind of like, why is my family, so mean, or maybe they're so hard on me? And when your mom told you that that was your house, like to worry about yourself and like your own family, don't worry about them, pretty much.
Well, yeah, she said that, and this is the reason when I don't actually credit myself, I credit the Lord because He gave me the mother. Amen. I had the brothers and sisters, but if it wasn't for my mom and my brothers and sisters, I wouldn't be who I am.
Do you think that your upbringing made you tougher? Do you think that gave you a competitive edge, like moving in the future?
No doubt. I would, I probably wouldn't be as humble as I am if it wasn't for my brothers and sisters, because if I got in trouble, they were going to get in trouble.
Yeah.
So that means they had to tell they were gonna get the whooping. And so they told. So I got my own whoopings. So that means that I would tell on them too, because I make sure that I'm not gonna get a whooping for something I didn't do.
Dang, that's so funny. Savage, what was it like for you growing up in like middle school? in Atlanta? Because I'm assuming that you had already this fighter inside of you, and I already told me that you were punching somebody when you were 5 years old. So what were you doing in middle school?
In middle school, I was boxing, and I had been the junior Olympic champion. Because I became.
How did you even get that dream? You already wanted to be a boxer when you were little?
No. When I was 8 years old, I was coming out the football field.
Right.
And this man told me I could be like Muhammad Ali. So, Muhammad Ali was great to me, and, 'cause we was into sports because people in the sports, they like things quick.
Right.
Education, things that are real slow, they take a long time before you come in.
Right.
So, as kids, you want things quick because you want it now. You want to show them. I'm like I was good in arm wrestling. I was strong. You want to show somebody instantly. If we got in the fight, our fights last like 15 seconds.
Yeah.
And you get to fight your friend most of the time because he's trying to make you do something you don't want to do.
Right.
And so if you fall on him and you're on top, you win.
Right.
So in 15 seconds, you already won and said, I told you I was stronger than you. And all this, because this is what kids trying to prove who they are in a short period of time. It wasn't about nobody stabbing and nobody like this. If you didn't win, you kind of quiet.
Right.
And come to the understanding that the person's stronger than you, or they can fight better than you.
That competition, that little bit of competition, I think that when you're young, it kind of sparks an interest in you. And there's some people that they like the competitiveness, or you see that you're like good at these things, and it makes you more interested. It makes you want to jump into it more. So it's like this man looked at you and said that you could be like Muhammad Ali.
Of course.
And he saw that because you were such a good athlete already at this point. You were like a child.
Well, he saw that in me. He seen me hit that bag real hard and like that. And so he was more interested when he said, do you want to be the heavyweight champion of the world? And I looked at him and said, I got to ask my mama.
Stop it.
Yeah, and when I said that, he looked and he told me, he said, you got a good mom. And I would kind of, somehow as a kid, when you're a kid, you don't think, you think it, he don't know my mom.
Yeah.
Because ain't nowhere in the world he know my mom.
Right.
Like this. If one thing, he was white, and I was like, I know he don't know my mom, but my mama told me not to say that to when older people said things. If you want to do, you ask her.
Yeah.
Like that. But he was saying that because when he asked me, did I want to be it, I said, I got to ask my mama. Now, my mama get the chance to say if I could be it or not.
Right.
So I went, and he said, well, you go ask that good mama and see what that good mama had to say. And so I went and asked my mom. I said, Mom, this white man at the boys club said I could be like Muhammad Ali.
And what she said?
She looked and said, do you know what they're going to do to you? So I said, well, no, ma'am. She said, they're going to hit you. And I start laughing because I get 3 whoopings a day.
Right.
And plus all my brothers and sisters, if I'm wrong, they can hit me.
Right.
And so I get hit all the time. So I was accustomed to get hit. So Mama said, well, you can't hit them back because I wasn't allowed to hit my brothers and sisters back.
Right.
Because they was older.
Dang.
And so I became who I am because.
So your mom, so when you were telling her that you were okay with being hit and all that stuff, did you start training? Was that the first time that you started training at the Boys and Girls Club for boxing, like for real? At what age did you start like taking it a little bit more seriously?
Well, when I was 8 years old, I was taking it seriously. I actually, my brothers and sisters, anything that I do, they will always prove that they're better than me.
Right.
But when I told them I was going to box, then nobody wanted to get into boxing.
Yeah.
I kind of felt that I got a chance to do something, and I ain't got to worry about my brothers and sisters outshowing me.
Right.
I'm like, it's amazing.
What's your thing?
Yeah, it's amazing that if they got into boxing, they wouldn't be boxing me. They just had to box somebody else.
Right.
And so they ain't want to take that chance. And so I finally got something that, then when I bring the trophy home, my mama would just, oh, she'd be so happy. You know, I'm telling you, I'm sure, you know, my mother, my brothers and sisters who were very knowledgeable, that read real well, my mother praised them a lot.
Right.
But once I got that first trophy, my mama put that thing on the shelf up there, and everybody come in the house, they ask about who the fighter, and my mama looked and said, that one right there, that small one. They said, he left. My mama said, but he can fight. And so it made her proud, so I wanted to win because I knew how I could, and like my mom.
No, and I'm sure that made you feel like, especially in a house full of 9 kids, and there's an intelligent one, a smart one, a funny one, and then you found like what was your gift, and at the same time, what they didn't realize, all this tough love that they were giving you was almost like preparing you for you to get into the sport, to see something like people hitting you as no big deal, and kind of like, that's nothing. But imagine a kid that would have had a different environment, maybe something like that would really throw them off, but you stepped up to it, and it was kind of like, you were made for it.
Well, I was.
When was your first, like, okay, so when you first started training when you were 8 years old, to what point was your first amateur fight?
When I was 9.
Stop it. That's really quick.
Like, when I was like, you know, in 3 days. In 3 days, I turned 9, and it was time for me to fight, and so.
What?
So.
When you're bringing in those champions, those trophies so quick.
I hit the guy one time. They started calling me One Punch Holyfield.
Yeah.
Because I hit the guy, and the guy started crying.
Stop.
And it stopped the fight. So.
And this was headgear and everything.
Yeah.
I was like, so then that was your first fight. So when you were, I heard that you were knocking kids out a lot back in the day. Like, tell me about some of your amateur fights.
Well, you know, once I, you know, like, I wasn't knocking them out. When you hit a kid real hard, he'll just start crying. So you start crying, that's it.
That's a knockout?
Yeah, because they call it a stoppage. They call it a stoppage.
Holyfield coming through, stop the fight.
You know, so you know.
For you, when you first started fighting, like, did you encounter fear? Like, when you know, like, because I feel like fighting is a big psychological thing. Like, you have to, like, a bunch of people are in great shape, a bunch of people are strong, but they would never be able to do what you've done in the ring in so many times, just to even have the balls to step in to an arena where, you know, hundreds of thousands of people are watching you. But even as a child, you know, you feel those kinds of same feelings, like people are watching, you don't want to mess up and all that. Like, how did you, like, find the courage, and also what did it feel like as a kid?
Well, it was a little different for me because I'm the youngest. So my brothers and sisters, anytime something was to happen, and they said, go get your little brother there. And so they said, you got to beat him.
Right.
And I'm like, you know, why I always got to fight?
Right.
Like this, and, you know. But I have to do what my brothers and sisters them tell me to do.
Right.
So I go in there and I swing real hard. The first lick, when I hit the guy, he started crying. The fight is over.
Man.
And so it's amazing, you know, back in the time, if a person can always say, "Oh, that's enough,"
right?
Yeah, and people stop. You know, a fight would stop if somebody started crying. A person nose started bleeding or something like that.
And these are fights that were just normal fights, right? You're talking about like growing up, that how now in these days that people out here, that they don't do those kinds of things, that they're videotaping kids and doing all kinds of cruel things and bullying and jumping and all that kinds of stuff. You're saying that back in the day that these people would actually...
Well, you know, it was my mama had something against people that she called cowards. She said, you know, a man lived one time, a coward died 1,000 times. Mm-hmm. She said, you're going to fight people, because if you don't fight them, they'll bother you for the rest of your life. You know, I'm trying to just think about it. Somebody bully you, but they bully people who just give in to it.
Yeah.
And they
people do what you allow them.
Your whole life, this is what's happening because you won't stand up and
defend yourself.
And defend yourself. So my mom was, you know, she was very strong in that, like that, you know.
She didn't want you to be pushed around or bullied.
Yeah.
She wanted you to stand up for yourself. Man, that's amazing. What an amazing mom. Because and moms, I always feel like a lot of the people that I interview, that I speak to, they always have somebody in their life that spoke life into them, that spoke truth into them, and that let them know, like, this is what's real, this is not what's real. But some kids growing up don't have that voice, or even from an older sibling and things like that. So it's always important to kind of look for them, because some of us aren't born with people to encourage us like that. But good thing that now we have, like, you know, books and YouTube and stuff like that. We end up looking for people that we can look up to, because there's some people that don't even have that. You know, I come from a single mom as well, and she gave me so much, but imagine not having that. I guess, so how did you get into the Olympics? I was like, because that was further along. This is after high school, or were you already trying to go to the Olympics when you were in high school?
Well, I was hoping to.
Yeah.
Because, you know, like I said, young people want to do it young, why they can brag about something. And it was amazing. It was all about bragging. You know, it's all about bragging, right? To say, I'm better than you, or I'm this, like that. So, you know, in 1980, they had the Olympic trial in Atlanta, Georgia. And I was trying to make the Olympic team, trying to make it then, and I wasn't good enough. And so they had it in Atlanta, so I went down and seen all the people. And I was like, oh my goodness, shoot, they bigger than me, oh shucks. So I seen the tournament, and I was like, oh man, these guys are good. I got to be real good. And so, of course, you know, at that time I was 17, and I said, well, I didn't make it in 80. Maybe I can make it in 84. And so I made it in 84.
Dang.
I wasn't good enough in 80.
Right.
But I was good enough in 84.
So what did you do? So when that happened to you in 80, what was your attitude? Like, I'm just going to go back and work harder? Like, because you said that you didn't make it then, but then you made it the next year. I feel like there's sometimes people that they want those kinds of things, but they don't like that thought process of making you continue and like, okay, that's fine, I'm going to come back next year. What are some of the thoughts that you think to yourself?
Well, you know, the thing is it go back to the beginning when my mama said, listen, follow direction, and don't quit. So anything that you're going to be good in, you got to listen, you got to follow direction, you have to don't quit. There's always going to be something saying quit.
Right.
Because you remember, I remember even, you know, the Rocky head came on. Mm-hmm. And so when Rocky came on, you know, he's a poor white guy, but he kept working hard and all this. And so the thing is that, so my friends have seen me running then, and so only thing they can say is that, you ain't white, why you act like you Rocky? You can't be no Rocky, because I wasn't.
Stop it.
Yeah. So in 1976, Leon Spinks and Michael Spinks, they win gold medal in the Olympics. Now, they from the ghetto, both of them. And so when they won it, I realized that ain't nothing nobody could stop. Because, you know, like, Leon and Michael, they was kind of on the same level I was on. They wasn't highly educated and all this. They can fight though. Yeah. That's it. They can fight real well. And so now, could nobody sit in? They were black just like I was, and they were dark skinned just like I was.
If they did it, you could do it.
And yeah, that was saying so.
What was it like when you went back? When you went back, were you like, you were nervous, or you went back and you felt more confident?
You know, I think nervous just part of you want to do real well.
Right.
But you know, confidence, because you practice. Confident people know what they do because they do it all the time. I go to practice all the time. I'm not late. I show up.
That's good.
Then I'm always, when they have fights, I'm fighting. So when you fight, you don't have to talk. Because everybody see you do it. But when you don't fight hardly, then you got to go tell somebody what you did. But when you fight, when you participate, you shut up. Everybody talking, oh, shoot, man, he's good. You ain't even got to say you good. Everybody else tell you good. So the art of it, if you fight enough and it's on TV, people gonna tell people, wow, he can fight. And so and that's my whole career. You never hear me bragging because I fought. And they seen it on TV and everybody else will talk about this guy's good and all this and stuff. And so, yeah.
Dang, that's amazing. No, absolutely. You didn't have to be loud. Your work spoke for you. And at the same time, when you're so good, people can't deny you. People could say, those kids that they were making fun of your brothers and your sisters, what do they say now?
Well, you know what they say? We know you were going to win. But that's part of it. That's part of it. You know, it's, you have to overcome different things in family because, you know, it'll actually make you better if you get the right attitude. My mother didn't tell them, leave him alone.
Right.
My mother that said leave him alone.
It
would just make me mad. Just make me mad and stuff like this. So my mom, but I became successful because my mother took away all the excuses. Well, if it bothers you that much, then why are you doing it?
Right.
Well, you don't have to do that. Like this, my mom said, you don't have to do it. But stop all that crying. That crying ain't gonna help you.
Right.
Like this, you know, anytime I didn't win, I would start crying. My mom said, the tears is not gonna help you.
Right.
You got to do something. You got to do something else. I said, Mama, if it go the distance, they always give it to the other guy. And my mama said, then don't let it go the distance.
Right.
Don't let it go the distance. Fight harder.
Dang.
Like, so, you know, so most people don't win because they start making all these excuses, reason why they can't win. Oh, my mama said, oh. I said, Mama, you know, Mama, you know, and the fight it go to decision, they get to the white person.
Right.
My mama said, then don't let it go to the decision.
Exactly.
Why worry about the decision?
Knock them out.
I said, well, you know, and so I started putting more pressure than my boxing coach, who was white, was telling me, he said, you're not going to have to worry about none of that when you get older. And I was wondering what it meant. Now, I threw a lot of punches and stuff as a kid. The other kid threw a lot of punches, but we didn't hit hard enough to really hurt each other real bad. But man, when I turned 17, and I started hitting people,
your power changed.
If I hit them 3 times, they out of there.
Wow.
And
I wonder how big you were at 17.
Oh shit! I weighed 17. I weighed 147.
I mean, that's pretty. Some grown men weigh that. I'm like, so that's actually a big 17-year-old, I think.
Really?
I was like, I mean, I'm tiny, so to me, I guess everybody's big.
You know, 100. You probably be 102 by then.
Yeah, probably. No, I'm like, not too far from there. I'm like 107. I'm super tiny. People are always shocked, but yeah. How much? When you were at a heavyweight or when you were at cruiserweight, what was the more comfortable weight you think when you were fighting?
Well, you know, I weighed I used to walk around about 185, and so I couldn't make 175 anymore. So everybody who was big guy would be 205, 210, and they would come down to 190.
Dang.
When they come down to 190, I beat the daylights out of them. Because they didn't have the energy to stay with me.
They dropped so much, yeah.
So, yeah.
Wow, and so, but which one did you prefer fighting at? Did you prefer fighting at cruiser or heavy?
Well, you know, the thing is, my goal was to be a heavyweight.
Right.
So after I became the cruiserweight champion, after I became the cruiserweight champion, it was just easy to move up.
Right.
So after I became cruiserweight undisputed, I moved up.
Some people would, because it's hard to move up in weight classes. It's really
hard. Of course
hard.
it is.
And you made it look easy. Oh,
Well,
it's
yeah,
like
then
4 times.
I didn't make it look easy. I just took on the challenge, like meaning that, what is I'm going to say? I couldn't have made it. You won't know unless you try.
Right.
So you have to do it. So my whole thing is that doing it. So you know, in 1990, I became the heavyweight champion of the world, beating Buster Douglas, the guy that beat Mike Tyson.
It's crazy.
And everybody's talking about I was gonna get killed.
Mm-hmm.
Man, he killed Mike. You know he gonna kill you.
It was a big upset.
Yeah, but they said it was upset, but it wasn't upset. It's just one good shot. Bam.
Good night.
Yep. Good night.
Wow. No, I remember that too. I was like, obviously the Tyson thing, which is I'm sure a lot of people ask you about. What the hell? Like, what did you think in your head when someone bit you in the ear?
Well, I knew that he wanted to get out.
Yeah.
I said that's all Mike do. And the reason why I know that, because as a kid, I used to bite my brothers and sisters them all the time. That means that I give. You said, let me go.
Let me go.
You know, your first thing you do.
It's like a panic. It's a panic move.
Yeah, it's a panic move because you want to get out of there.
It's a desperate move.
Like anything, I don't care what nobody say. I need to turn me loose now. I'm hurt, and so you bite.
What did you say anything to him, or like after that when you run into him in places?
Oh, you know, even when we was in the ring, I told him, I said, yeah, you know you wanted to get out of there. I said, ain't no sense in acting all this stuff like this and stuff. I said, you ain't want no more.
He could fool everybody, but he can't fool himself.
Well, he couldn't fool me either, because the fact is, I have been in that situation. I know what it is when my brother get me in a headlock and I can't breathe. My brother get me in a headlock, I can't breathe.
Anything.
I give. You know, when you tell them to give, they supposed to let you go.
Right.
They don't let me go, man. I bite, boy. I put these teeth in them, and you know what?
But it's just such a shocking thing to happen in a professional ring. You know, like you're okay, you don't want to get out, but to do something like that is just pretty. It's funny now, but I'm sure it wasn't funny then. Well,
yeah, you know, it's things that it pops in your head to how to get out. You just know you want out.
Surviving.
But you want to out in a way that it ain't embarrassing. Now, you got to understand now, Tyson the bad guy. So if he bites somebody, he just lost his temper. But he got out because it was an easy way for him to get out. Mm-hmm. Now, if he would have quit, it would have been worse.
Right.
I can't believe it. He just walked out of there. By him doing it, then he make up a couple of excuses. Say, well, he headbutted me a couple times, you know. This.
No, I just could totally picture it. Yeah, panic mode. Dang, but that's what happens when you go toe to toe. And I think that I know you, off camera, you're always going after the carrots, the fruits, you're always eating really healthy. I can imagine you off when you were back in the day fighting and you're preparing. What was your conditioning like? What was your training like? Because me coming from the Muay Thai and boxing world, I see these guys, the guys that do it right and the guys that do it really wrong, and a lot of them kind of rely on their talent and rely on their own genetics and stuff, but then really when it goes the distance, the conditioning and all that stuff, you could tell what guys aren't really doing the work.
Well, I was one of them people just old-fashioned. I listened, I followed direction, and don't quit. I had a good conditioner coach who was telling me about the food that you eat, how it would bother you. So he got me into juicing. And
wow.
So,
it's before your time, because juicing is now in trend. But
I didn't like vegetables at all.
Yeah.
I ain't like them. And I said, man, I ain't finna eat none of this. He said, man, we just gonna juice it, and you drink it up. After 10 seconds, you won't taste it no more. So he juiced the stuff, and once I started doing that and started realizing, oh, all I need to do is just one time, and the whole day, you have the energy for the whole day. And so, when something works, I do it.
Right.
And so I kept on.
Wow, you saw the difference. You saw. I was watching a documentary on vegetarians, and they were talking about like these different diets that people do. And a lot of Olympians are trying the vegetarian and stuff. What did you really eat? Like you were juicing, but were you also eating like meats? And were you? What was your diet like?
Well, you know, I didn't. You know, my whole thing is
I want to know the champion diet. I want to know what gets you 4 times.
It wasn't so much a champion diet. It was what I did that worked for me. And so the thing is that, you know, I had someone to cook. I had
chefs, yeah.
I had the food, but I was gonna eat Burger King. I love Burger King, and the reason why I like Burger King because I couldn't afford it when I was a kid. So here I am, a grown man still stuck in the kid era with Burger King. But my coach said, as long as you juice, it's all right. Because because everything gonna burn, everything will burn properly. And
how much work you were putting in?
Yeah, and I train 3 times a day, and
So wait, walk me through that. What is a day like? So you would wake up and you would go for a run?
No. My first workout was boxing.
Okay.
Because I like doing boxing first.
Yeah, it takes out all your energy.
No. I know.
I mean, for me.
No, with me, I thought about getting beat up. I ain't like getting beat up at all. I want to win.
Right.
So I want to be ready. But I'm always, because you have butterflies and all this, because you have different people. I have 3 different people I spar with. So, now I got to whoop all 3 of them.
3 times a day?
No. They in one period in the morning.
People. Okay.
So we may do 6 round, 8 round sparring and stuff like that, and that's what it'd be. But I want to be fresh for that. I want to be fresh. It's just like, you don't run and do all these things before you go work out.
Right.
Usually when it comes to fight day, you have this time off, then you're thinking about what you got to do and all that. You save all the energy. So I do the boxing workout first. And then I come back and eat and all this. Then in noontime when it's hot,
right,
I do my running.
Okay.
I do my running, then
you do a few miles?
You do 3 miles, at least 3 miles.
At least 3 miles,
yeah.
And then will you finish up?
Then after that, then eating I do weightlifting and all the other different things.
I just think that you're somebody that you put in the work and you show up, and that's a lot of what I talk about with the people on my podcast is like how to show up. What would you say to somebody that's listening, like a young guy that really looks up to you and is just kind of like wants to step out and do something bold and brave like you're doing, but maybe they're like caught up in their head or they're like afraid? What would you give your advice to like the young people that are listening?
Well, I'm just hard to, it all depends on what you want to be.
Right.
I'm like, you can't make no excuse. It can't be no excuse. You can't come up with this thing, well, if they do this, if they do that, then I ain't gonna do it. You got to know that I want to be this, and whatever it takes for me to be the very best, this is what I'm going to do.
To be willing to do whatever it
takes.
Because
you know what I'm saying? I myself personally, when we boxers, and they had girls that did the gymnastics, mm-hmm. Those girls worked harder than we did. And all this time they put in this stuff, within about an hour, we finished working out. And these young girls, they on a diet, you got to be thin, you got to do all this stretching, all these exercise. And the swimmers, I seen so many people just did more than us. And I was like saying, oh, well, I'm glad I chose this.
And you were naturally good at it too. You were ready for it.
I wouldn't say natural. Natural would be taking something.
You had the will to want to do it.
Well,
you wanted to defend yourself.
I was willing to. It's the hardest 9 minutes. The hardest 9 minutes in the world. In boxing, the 9 minutes is the hardest thing. But that 9 minute can allow you to be the very best of the whole world. Just starting with these 9 minutes.
And what would you say to like a little kid like you that was growing up being kind of bullied by his family, or maybe thinking he's a little guy? What would you tell someone like that to keep their head up?
Well, I would tell them, look, keep practicing. People who practice are going to be great. People who don't practice are not going to be great. And that's the truth. You take people who practice, they're always going to be better than the person who don't practice.
Absolutely.
That's right.
I love that. No, honestly, every time I talk to you, you always drop gems of wisdom on me, and I appreciate you taking the time to sit down and talk to me and talking to my people, because you're a living legend. You already know that you're super humble, so I know you don't even care for those comments, but I appreciate you, and we appreciate everything that you've done. You're a badass.
Thank you.
You are.
Wow.
Yes. Thank you guys for watching. Yeah, we're going to sign off. Bye.